My name is Joe. Hi, my name is Joe Harmon. I'm interviewing my great-grandmother, Maudene Ivey, who is 80 years old. She grew up in northern Alabama, and I would like to find out exactly what her life was like as a child and up through her early adulthood. So, Grandma, would you like to tell us exactly how you grew up and when you were younger?
Yes, I was born in Alabama, a little place called Cataula, Alabama, Clay County. County seat is Ashland, Alabama, so people know Ashland better than Delta, I'm sure. And we grew up on a farm. My dad was farming, my granddad. I had two homes, with my mom and dad, and then with my grandparents. I was back and forward with them. And we had plenty to eat, because we grew our vegetables and had our chickens and everything, so that's about all we did have. But our neighbors didn't have much more. We were just all poor people, and we would divide with, if somebody was out of milk or something, and neighbors would divide with each other, and neighbors had plenty of time to visit and talk, find out who was in need of something in the community. So everybody worked together. It was a good life. I enjoyed it. We went to school in a two-room schoolhouse. And we had a lot of friends, and real close friends. And we didn't have as much to do then as you have to do today. The children now, I'm sure, wouldn't enjoy living that kind of a life, but we didn't know any better, and it was good for us. Well, we visited each other. The parents would take the children and go visit, and the children would be together, and the older people together.
So you got to spend a lot of time with kids your own age and play different types of games and stuff?
Yes. We didn't have too many games then. Well, maybe some people did, but the community where I was, we didn't have too many games. And as we got a little older, we played a lot of dominoes. That's educational. So I think that's still good for children today. We had a game, I remember when I was growing up, best I can remember, it was called Cataula game. It was a board with pockets in each four corners, and with a little round rings, and it'd be players against each other, and the rings were different colors. Anyway, you would shoot at this ring and try to get it in the pocket. I don't remember exactly how the game went, but a lot of people enjoyed playing that. And we had cards, and we could play games like hearts and diamonds, and just different simple little games. I never knew anything about other games.
So most of what y'all had was, most of the things you had to make, and all, lots of things you used that came from the farm and everything like that?
Yes.
Was there like a store or something that y'all go buy stuff at?
Well, I didn't go to the store very much. My dad and granddad and him would go to the store, not real often, but they'd go to Anniston lots of times, bring back groceries. And there was somebody that had a truck that came around the houses with, he had threads and oil and soaps and just a variety of things that people would need, and you could get things like that. And I know we would sell eggs sometimes in exchange for soap or whatever was needed.
See, this doll here was made out of a flour bag. What, they just have it and you cut it out and then stuff it and sew it together?
Right. I think then there's advertisement on it. I think it's advertising Ballard flour. and after the flour was used out of it, the print was there, and you cut the doll out and stuff it. I think my aunt did this one, and it's been through a lot.
Yeah.
It's just about wore out now. But anyway, I've kept it all these years. One thing because she made it, I guess, and it's very unusual. In fact, I appreciate things like this now more than I used to.
Yeah.
And they used a lot of their time visiting and doing work at the same time, because there's these little tools here. It's called little cat and shuttles. Little shuttles. I never could do it, but they wrapped thread around the hand some way and made this little lacy stuff, called it tatting. It's beautiful. I have some of it that was left that they made, and put it on blouses or around little handkerchiefs. It's beautiful. Still is to me. And I think some people can still make it now. I don't know. I don't know of anybody that does, but I'm sure somebody does. But it's a lot of work. But they enjoyed it. And I have a little pair of pants that, yeah, my grandfather's mother, she made the cloth, and then she made the pants from it. It's all handmade. And the little buttons, still the original buttons on there, and you can see all the little hand stitching. The pants are real old.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, I think he was born about 1873, and he wasn't but 2 or 3 years old, I guess, when she made the pants for him. But I'm keeping them, just because of being old and in the family.
Yeah.
I also have a sewing machine that you pedal, and it makes beautiful little stitches. It still sews. It was handed down to me from my grandparents, and I don't use it now, but it can be used. And then this right here they're called cardon. I think that's what it's called, something like that. Anyway, that cotton was put on them wire bristles in there, and she would sit around and push that cotton on, and then she would roll them together, back and forward. Finally, she would get it like she wanted to get it picked up real good, and then she would make a roll out of it. I saw her do this a lot. I was just a kid, but I'd watch her. And then she would, some way, she had a spinning wheel. And she would start the spinning wheel with her hand, and then I reckon the friction would keep it going, because it would go real fast, make a little whining noise. And she'd make thread. And then it'd run that thread around, and then from that thread, she'd do a lot of other things.
Do you remember any of the things they might have taught you, like in school, like the basic stuff, or?
Well, I remember. I don't remember as much, except we were supposed to eat fruits and vegetables. We were supposed to take care of our teeth, which I didn't do, and smoking was bad. But most people went ahead and smoked, and the women. I don't think the women smoked so much, but a lot of them had to use tobacco in a different form of snuff. But we were taught that it wasn't good for us, even though they were doing it.
You have a few pictures over here. This one here is really...
Yeah, this picture is my mother's half-brother. he died when he was real young. I believe he was about 23 when he died. And there's a picture somewhere of all the family. It may be right there on that corner, under these things right here.
Here's these.
Oh yeah, okay.
This one here?
Yeah. Now this is my grandfather. This is Mother. She's the one that made the pants for him. Then this is my grandmother. This is her mother. That's my granddad's aunt, his mother's sister. And then this is my mother. Where is she? Right here is my mother. And this is her two sisters. And then this is my grandfather's sister. And there's one then somewhere right there. Okay. This one right here, you can't see it very plain, but it's my grandfather and my grandmother, and then my mother and her two sisters. And then this boy is a half brother. See, his mother died when he was just a baby of some kind of poison or something, kidney poison or something, I believe it was. And then his mother raised with him, helped him raise the boy till he was about 2 years old. Then he married my grandmother, my mama's mama. And then they had the 3 girls. And she said she could never tell a difference. It seemed just like hers. And that's his picture when he was a young. My grandfather was young, and that's his grandma. That's his mother and his sister. That was when he was a young man.
Yeah, this one here.
And that picture is when my grandmother was young. She was a peacock before she married. She was Mary Frances Peacock, and she married John Anderson Clayton. They're all gone now, of course. But these 80 years have been mighty short. When you get older, you can see how fast they're going.
Yeah. So, about what time did you leave Alabama, go somewhere else?
Well, let's see. I think I was about 13 years old, and my mother and daddy went to Lynette, Alabama, right at the edge of West Point, Georgia, and worked there some, and then moved us kids on down there with them. So we were lived in Lynette, and my dad worked in the dye works, and Mom, she worked just a little bit at the mill, but she didn't ever have a full-time job, so she was supposed to stay home. She had the house and raise the kids.
Did you do, like, when you moved to Lynette, did you, like, get any, like, new experiences and learn any new things?
Yes, I think so, but right now I don't know exactly what, but I know it was a different life. And the school was a real big school. I wasn't used to a big school like that with all the children. I had a few close friends, not as many as when I was growing up in the country.
So the city life just wasn't, like, it's more fast-paced, and you didn't spend as much time with the family, and you mainly just trying to fit in and everything.
Well, even then there was a lot of things to do, like going to the movies and everything. But I didn't go to the movies not very often, I guess because, well, maybe it was quite a ways from there, and we didn't have the money to do lots of things too that other people could do. 30s, so it was kind of rough. Most everybody was having it kind of hard back at that time.
Yeah. That was right around the Depression, wasn't it?
Yeah, just
during the 30s.
Just coming out of the Depression, I believe.
Do you remember anything?
Now, when we was on the farm, the Depression, I don't think hurt us as like it did the people in town that got laid off from their jobs and everything, because we still had our groceries, you know, like the chickens and the eggs and the hogs that was raised and vegetables, and we'd go pick the wild berries and grapes and things to make jellies and can them and make pies. And I don't know, we had plenty to eat, so I really don't know that much about the Depression except what I've heard. I know there's lots of people that really didn't have anything to eat.
Do you remember your first job? Like,
Right now, I really don't, because I never did have when I was growing up, I didn't have a steady job. One time, I know I helped this lady carry dinners to the meal to different people that she fixed big dinners for, and she gave me something for helping her. I don't remember what, so that wasn't really a job, though. And then I remember working at I guess the first job I really had must have been at working in a studio, picture studio, developing pictures and printing. I did that for quite a while. So growing up, I really didn't have a job, you know, teenage job like children have now.
yeah. When you were young, did you have any plans about what you wanted to do when you grew up?
I don't know. I don't believe I did. I can't think right now, except I just wanted to get grown quick.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of kids today just want to grow up.
Yeah. I didn't think about, like, well, I know you planning to go to college, which that's wonderful. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
But I didn't never think about, well, like, when I finished school, in fact, I didn't finish school, that I would go to college.
Well, do you feel that times have changed for the kids today since when you were young, or?
Oh, I think it's changed a lot now. I don't know if it's for the better. I really don't know that, but I know they have more, and they got more things to do, places to go. I guess it's better because I think they're better educated.
Yeah.
If they want to take advantage of things, it's much better now than it was years ago.
Do you feel that has any effect on family life, or how close the families are today?
Well, I believe it does, because the more you have, you get scattered, you go in here and there, and you don't have time to be at home and really enjoy home life.
Yeah.
Like when you don't have very much, you can enjoy it together, you know, being at home. And as long as somebody's got their help, that's what really matters.
Yeah.
So, seems like sometimes the more you get, the more you want.
Yeah.
And the more you want, you got to work harder and longer hours, and sometimes you don't have time for children like you should have. You're too tired after you do all these long days' work.
Yeah.
But I can really appreciate anybody that takes time with their children, and I know somebody that does, and has for years. Your dad has been a wonderful dad to take care of you and see that you get to do all these different things.
Yeah. Is there anything else you could think of that you'd like to talk about?
I just like to talk about how much I love my family and how much I thank God for them and pray that they'll continue to be blessed like we are now. And I'm so thankful for my long years and being able to take care of myself. That is not really good, but I can still do for myself.
Yeah.
I don't have to depend on somebody. Well, I have to depend on y'all for a lot of things, but like cutting the yard and taking me places maybe. But I've had a good life. I just thank the Lord for it.
Well, thank you for helping me with the interview. That was a real pleasure.
Well, there's lots of things I wished I could have said that I didn't. I'll think of them later and say them to you.
That's all right. I'd like to hear about them later then.
Okay, then.
All right. And this concludes the interview with Maudene Ivey.